If you think Steam's a monopoly, you're stupid. So I'm sure some of you saw this article that came out the other day. And I couldn't help but get a little kick out of it because I think this is indicative of where the industry's at least on the AAA side of things. Also, hi, I usually don't do this. I know. Smoking hot ginger over here. I usually try to keep this under wraps behind a microphone. It's a good thing it's just coffee in here. Woo! But I'm sure you saw this article come out about how, what was the number? 72% of industry executives think Steam's a monopoly. Well, good. Good. It also just so happens that 72% of executives should be fired from this industry because what the fuck are you talking about? I want to go over this data, and I'm looking at the GameSpot coverage of this that says, quote, majority of devs say Steam has monopoly on PC gaming in new poll. Nearly 3/4 of developers polled acknowledge that most of their sales come from Steam, but they also view Valve's Portal as a monopoly. And we're going to go through this because this is a topic that I have talked about at length in several videos, not just talking about Steam, but also talking about mainly Steam's competition, the Epic Games Store, talking about Ubisoft, talking about EA, talking about Battle.net. I don't talk much about GOG because I think GOG and the Discord store, for that matter, are two services that actually do a rather good job. I think if anyone's going to make a run for Steam's top position, it's going to be GOG, which in that should be kind of an indication that this is not a monopoly, and that if you just do a good service and do a good thing, that people will come to your service and give you money on your service. That's literally not what indicates a monopoly, industry executives of the AAA gaming industry. But I want to look through the coverage of this. I want to look through what actually happened here. I want to give you guys a nice little look at my stupid fucking face, because YouTube keeps telling me that, hey, your views are down, Joe. Your views are down. You should do something differently. Okay, what should I do differently? We can't tell you. It's a secret. But also, I feel like there's some gross misunderstanding between what is and is not a monopoly. What is a monopoly and what is just a product gaining traction, a product fair and square destroying the competition. And in this scenario, in the gaming industry at least, it's not even that Steam is destroying the competition, it's that Steam really doesn't have any competition despite other corporations trying to act like they are competing. But we will get into that. So again, this is GameSpot's coverage of the matter. It says, for the last 2 decades, Valve's Steam has grown into a gigantic hub for distributing PC games. It's become one of the most important marketplaces in the entire gaming industry. Now, a new poll suggests that a majority of developers believe that Steam has a monopoly on the PC gaming business, but that doesn't seem to be stopping any of the companies from using Steam. Which, pause there for a second. I don't think that's actually a very fair way of portraying this, because if it was a monopoly, it's not. If it was a monopoly, though, that the fact that companies are using the monopoly doesn't actually contradict it being a monopoly. It's like if there was a monopoly on storefronts, on digital distribution, and then you say that, like, well, these companies think that it's a monopoly even though they use it. It's like, well, yes, if it was a monopoly, they would still be using it. Why did you You're just proving me right even more that you don't know what the word monopoly means anymore. Look at this word. Monopoly. Look at this word. I'm having way too much fun with being on camera. Atomic Research has shared their findings of its survey, The State of PC Game Distribution, through the PC distribution platform Rocky via gamesindustry.biz. The survey was conducted in May of this year with responses from 306 industry executives in the United States and the United Kingdom. Gosh, gee willikers, that sure is a great indication of the entire worldwide games industry, right? Just the US and the UK? If only there were other regions of the world that have a massive presence in PC gaming. Ooh, but the US and the UK, that's the total sphere of PC gaming now, isn't it? And I say that because it is grossly unfair to say that the entire games industry is represented by just the US and the UK. The US and the UK are two of the biggest games markets. They are two of the biggest games markets, but they're not a good representation of PC gaming globally, because PC gaming globally is very heavily represented by the Asian countries. It's very heavily represented by what we would call third world countries, or, you know, third world in the context of games industry. It's basically just meaning not the US or the EU or China or Japan or South Korea. Outside of those 5 regions, PC gaming is a huge presence. I hear from people all the time that they don't don't really even have console gaming as much of a presence in their country at all. PC gaming is like the only option there. And that's why I find it so funny that this poll was taken so seriously, when right out of the gate, we should have been taking this with a massive grain of salt, because it's just the US, just the UK, which are two of the regions of the games industry that are the most strangled by the console AAA industry. But that's just, you know, I have a million videos about that. You don't have this fucking mug in those videos, but, you know, you can watch those if you want. According to these results, 72% of all responding executives felt that Steam has a monopoly on the PC games market. The survey participants also acknowledged that Steam sales provide over 75% of their revenue, but only 32% of responding executives said that their companies still support physical media of some form. That's important. I would say that's pretty fucking important. This is why PC gamers get so annoyed when people say Steam is a monopoly. It's because, like, yeah, no, Steam's a monopoly. We just make, like, so much money through Steam and, like, through nowhere else for the PCs. Like, all we do is make money off of Steam. Steam's a monopoly. And then you ask, like, hey, what other avenues are you using for PC games revenue? What other avenues are you using? Oh, nothing? Then, yeah, no shit you see Steam as a monopoly, because you're not doing anything else. The survey notes that 48% of executives companies also distribute through the Epic Games Store and the Xbox PC Game Store. A much smaller percentage, 10%, uses GOG, while only 8% use itch.io. However, 80% of responders expect to use alternative sales channels in addition to Steam over the next 5 years. So, what we're getting down to is that this is not a monopoly, and rather just you make the most money off of Steam. You don't think Steam is a monopoly, you just are making the most revenue off of Steam. And that's fine if you are, but you also acknowledge that there are alternative sources. There are alternative storefronts. There are alternative digital distribution services on the PC. Since, you know, only 32% of you support physical media of some form. Like, whoa, how'd that happen? 68% of us ditched physical media, and then we're confused why we're making the majority of our money off of the biggest digital distribution service. That sounds like a monopoly to me. No, it sounds like you just don't know what the word monopoly means, and yet you're an executive somehow. I'm just some fucking MXPX jacket and a Seattle Mariners hat, drinking a cup that's definitely only coffee, and I know what words mean. Do you know what words mean? But let's do a little dive into why they're saying this. Because Steam is a service that is it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, especially if you like CSGO skins recently. But Steam does have a good idea of what people want from it, and it is very good at giving people what they want from it. And if you've been a PC gamer to any degree over the last, I don't know, 6-7 years, you know, multiple storefronts and multiple launchers, multiple digital distribution services have been on the PC for a long time, but over the last, like, I don't know, 6-7 years is when things really started kicking off. Everyone started making their own, or at least over the last 6-7 years is when people really started complaining about Steam being a monopoly of some kind, even though it literally never was. But the main thing that you hear, and I'm going to use the Epic Games Store as my main example of this because it's just the most obvious example of this, but the main thing that you hear is that Steam gives people what they want, other services don't. Steam is perfectly happy to give you user reviews, to give you a digital goods marketplace, to give you fair pricing, to give indie developers basically all the tools they could ever need to be successful on their site. Why do I hold the mic with 2 fingers? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? What the fuck? But the main thing that you hear is that Steam has all of these services. Oh, and the community forums. The community, like, there's a whole fucking forum for each game on the Steam store built into the Steam store. You have great social services on Steam. You have a really great overlay built into Steam. You have dynamic bundle pricing on Steam, which, you know, I didn't think dynamic bundle pricing was really all that big of a deal until Epic Games put it on a roadmap. Because apparently you gotta think real hard about whether or not you want to put dynamic bundle pricing on your storefront. Gosh, oh golly, can you tell where I'm going with this? The thing is, Steam is not the dominant PC storefront just because. It's not the dominant storefront because of a monopoly. In order for something to be a monopoly, it has to have like bent the rules or manipulated the market in some way that makes it impossible for you to compete. But the thing that you hear from PC gamers all the time is that all of the features that Steam has that make people like it, all of those features are things that you could implement to your PC storefront tomorrow with a single patch, and you're just not doing it for some reason. So I just don't feel bad for you if you're an executive of a gaming company and you're trying to be like, listen, we got to make more money on the PC market, which I don't even know what the deal with that is. You're making an ass load of money off of Steam. Maybe you want to make more money off of each sale, so you want to implement your own storefront, or maybe you want to make money off of third-party game sales, like if you're Epic Games, you want to make money off of your own games. Oh, well, I mean, that implies that Epic Games actually makes games still. I liked Unreal Tournament, Epic. I'll just eat shit with the spoon then. If you're trying to make money off of a PC storefront, off a digital distribution service, be it from first-party games that you developed or just off of third-party sales that you take a cut of the revenue for because you're providing the distribution. If you want people to use your distribution service over the one that already exists, what you need to do at the bare minimum is provide the amount of convenience, provide the amount of features that the prominent storefront already provides. And that's what's so annoying. People say that, oh, people are just loyal to Steam. Steam is gonna hold these people because they're loyal to Steam. But the thing is with PC gamers, we're not loyal to like anything because it's the PC. Because the PC has all of these different components, all these different storefronts, all these different services, all these different indie providers, that it's hard to be attached to any one provider on Steam for any one reason. We use Steam to get most of our games because that's where most of the games are in the most convenient way. Other storefronts could be the most convenient way, and they have a whole roadmap of how to be the most convenient way because Steam has already put in the legwork for you, and you're choosing not to do that. Steam is not a monopoly. Steam has just fucking mollywopped the competition because the competition refuses to even try to compete. If you have two burger joints in your town, right? You got a Burger King, and then you have a Wendy's. No, you know what? That's not a good analogy. I'm gonna stop there. Okay, how about this? You live in a town where there's two zoos, right? You have a really great zoo, like the Denver Zoo. I love the Denver Zoo. My wife and I go to the Denver Zoo all the time. It's cool. You can drink there. But let's just say you live in a place where there's two zoos. You have a really cool place like the Denver Zoo, and then you have a really shitty place like the Los Angeles Zoo. I haven't been to the LA Zoo in like 20 years. I just remember it being really inconvenient. I remember it being like a giant hike to get anywhere. And it was like you were walking down concrete pavements to various people's like garages. Like you walk down a concrete pavement, then you turn right, and there's like a garage with a spider monkey. And then you pull back, you walk down a pavement. Then you turn right, and now there's someone's garage with a big lizard. I haven't been there in 20 years. I don't know if it's like that still. It's probably not. I hope not. But let's just say you live in a place with two fucking zoos, and one of these zoos is really cool. The other zoo is not. They have the same animals at the zoo. One of these zoos takes more care of the animals, and also while taking care of the animals, they, make the experience more fun for you as a consumer of the viewing of the animals. And then there's the other zoo, which sucks ass, and the animals clearly aren't happy there. Obviously, one of these zoos is going to be more popular than the other if they're in the same area, if they have the same consumer base. Does that mean that the zoo that sucks ass is somehow victim to a monopoly? The reason they're not succeeding is because there's a monopoly over zoos? Clearly, there's not a monopoly over zoos because you are existing as a zoo in the area. That's really what kills me about the whole thing. Like, you have companies like Epic Games be like, Steam's a monopoly. We can't, Steam is just a monopoly. It's not our fault that the Epic Games Store is not as successful as Steam. It's just the fact that Steam is a monopoly. Oh, by the way, here's a report about all of the money we make off of the Epic Games Store. But also, there's a monopoly. How is it a monopoly if you're making that much money on the It's not a monopoly. You just suck at business. So honestly, more of this, genuinely. The AAA industry is so close to completely collapsing in on itself. More of this, more of just highlighting why nobody in the AAA industry has any fucking clue what people want from them. Not because they're not being told what people want from them, but because they're too fucking pompous to just do it. As a red-blooded American, I wholeheartedly believe that if you are bad at your job, you should be fired. So yes, continue being bad at your job, executives. Continue displaying to the world that you don't actually deserve your position. Get someone else in there. Make things better. Doofus Club with the face cam time. Oh no, it's CM Punk, Celeron, Joe Goons for Gaston. I here have 6 dozen eggs. Max Kalibatu Gaming, Nate, Elite, Bill, Dan Shar. I want to squeeze Harmon Smith's Temples, Grimsby, Sargent and Bond, Unicorn Rocco. It's a hard nug life. Nice dude, one man savage. People in a bowler hat. Basically 1-1-1. No payoffs. Official dregs. Oh no, it's Snoop Docky Doc. Vector, Vendetta, Archie, Mechanical Resonance, Sig Nick, Mad Fox 94, XJ Induction, Bear Brain, Stick Rider, Broken Crayon, Power for the Racket. Joe didn't remember my name. Joe is a fake fart. Fake fan. Oh. Devastator 2000, Jake Spider Monkey 1994, hashtag ban JTech TV, Schmo from Schmeals to Schmitz, Chris Voidfast, Dennis, Gaming with Dead People, Mesky, Big Fudge, Bodie McBoatface, and the Modi McBoatface, Klepto Penguin, to Judge 06, Multi, Morelizard, Oracle, Blast 1314, Joey Chop Step, Joe, I dropped the soap, whoops. Master Killer, Firestorm 2056, Tom Schnorlax, Unknown 186718, the letter H, live action Scooby Doo from 2002, deserves an Oscar, as Shadow Bear 1789. Bender Fondue, you're telling me a gingerbread this man? T-Train, Reisner, Non Vorlaw, High, Partial Man 8, Vox Auto, Comman 4372, WX, Gamer 127YT, All Around 1, Snake Eyes 727, Game Award 72. Game Award 72, MK296E, MK2396E, Hentai Xbox Gamma Fire, Hazard 105, Tech Gaming, Joe was Lone Slim, Jim Lord Pass the second, Joe laughs us in the moat, Gay Local Little Autism, PC Gamer, Jessica Shepard, Ricky Spell, Ricky Zaddy, Atomic Dog, Green, the Steel Angel, Harmon Smith fucks his Pikachu plush daily. It's so hot in here. Fuck. Baron Von Vonderham, Cyrus 6771, 2 Dex 940. I saw that. Lol. Lamau, Creed, Warrior 23. Max at Chev, Simple the Chat, Tolene saying, welcome Step Joe to Gara weekly schedule pro pegging. Night of Cypher, ML04, Ion 6, Comments and Click 2006 on Blu-ray, Wolf of Midnight, Pig Bean, Steve Wentz, Studios, Film Kraken, Own Gaming, Derek Brown, Thorns, Gating, Maganex, Sever, Emerson, Spinal 3, Scally for Wymax, Pow Pow, Donnie Weston, Nick, Gob Gonson, Rogue, Winter 19, Zank, Thane, Kenny, Get It, Family, Hangman for Hire, Eldon, the Noble, for Oscars, Old Bio, Genesis, Public, Pinkus 97, Mega Keys, Coffee, Go, Ghost, Reed, Saki, Raptor Tim, Amasep 94, Blue Hook, Wendy, Wankham, Mentis, Squeak, Jody, Peter, Spider, Wiggum, Jensen, McAdvertisement, Hugh Garcia, Kimmikins, I'm American Idiot, Harmon Smith on the chin, Oh No, Sorsen, Rand, Wood, Tweety Wing, Istanbul 7, Retro, Wannabe Hobo, Westa, Jay's Fan, Respect to the Mariners, Veg, Goof Banana, Current Balance Pack, Saul Hathan, Hey Siri, tell me a joke about console fanboys. My phone is downstairs right now. So dude, my hair looks like shit. I didn't have the camera up when I did that. I wasn't looking at the camera. Dude, my hair looks so bad. I have hat hair. Look at that. That's gonna make it worse now. Hang on. How do you do, fellow hair-having people? Yeah, I gotta keep the fucking hat on. I gotta keep that on until I get a haircut. Okay, toodles.